There is a truth that the ancients understood clearly. Most of human suffering does not arise from the outside world, but from one's own judgments and attitudes. As Epictetus said, "It is not things themselves that trouble us, but our opinions about them." When one cultivates the habits of the mind, controls passions, and directs reason toward virtue, many troubles dissolve like morning mist under the sun. Today, we will explore 12 masculine habits capable of eliminating 90% of your problems. Why habits? Because strength is measured not in grand gestures, but in consistent daily action. Seneca reminded us, "No one becomes wise by chance." Every transformation begins with what we repeat daily. You may think your struggles come from an unjust society, deceitful people, or harsh circumstances. The Stoics would disagree. What is outside your control cannot harm your inner freedom. What matters is how you govern yourself. Problems vanish not when obstacles disappear, but when the soul attains firmness. These 12 habits are 12 steps leading to a life where anxiety is replaced by clarity, weakness by strength, and chaos by inner greatness. Habit 1. Discipline. A man without self-discipline is like a ship without a rudder. The wind may blow favorably, the sea may be calm, yet the vessel drifts aimlessly and risks wrecking on hidden rocks. Discipline is the root of all other habits. Without it, willpower, courage, and wisdom cannot flourish. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be strict with yourself, gentle with others." Such strictness is not cruelty, but a clear resolve to follow what reason dictates. A man without discipline promises to rise at dawn but remains in bed, vows restraint but gives in to impulse, and seeks meaning yet chases empty pleasures. Each failure leaves a quiet sense of self-betrayal. Discipline brings a serene joy. When you rise, act, and speak according to your intentions, a fortress of dignity forms within, independent of praise or blame. Epictetus reminded us, "No one is free who does not master himself." True freedom is not doing whatever one desires, but doing what reason directs. Habit 2. Silence and thoughtful speech. A wise man does not scatter words carelessly, like stones into a pond. Each word carries weight and should be deliberate. Seneca wrote, "It is better to say little than to speak much." The careless man exposes his weaknesses, fuels disputes, and wastes energy. Energy spent on empty chatter is energy lost from meaningful action. The Stoic embraces silence, not from fear, but from dignity. In this quiet, thoughts gain depth, and words, when spoken, strike with purpose. Epictetus advised, "2 ears and 1 tongue are given so that we may listen more than we speak." Silence grants freedom. It teaches self-mastery, restraint, and clarity. Conflicts fade, reputations strengthen, and decisions are made with thoughtfulness rather than impulse. Mastery over speech is mastery over self, and self-mastery brings power over circumstance. Habit 3. Moderation. So many men suffer simply because they do not know restraint. Some overindulge in food and drink. Others chase wealth as if death will never come. And many pursue pleasures that squander their vitality and virtue. The Stoics taught, "Live according to nature." Nature requires only what is sufficient. Modest nourishment for the body, honorable deeds for the mind, truth for the soul. Anything beyond this corrupts rather than enriches. Seneca reminded us, "It is not the man who has little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." Moderation frees a man from slavery to desire. He appreciates what he has, does not covet what belongs to others, and is content without excess. Through moderation, 90% of everyday troubles vanish. Fear of loss diminishes, cravings subside, and the mind remains calm. The moderate man walks through life steadily, with his desires and fears aligned with reason. Habit 4. Dedication to work. A man who avoids labor is like a tree that bears no fruit. The trunk exists, the branches spread, yet its purpose remains unfulfilled. The Stoics emphasized that virtue manifests through action. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The horse was made to run, the bee to labor, the human being to act rightly." Work is not punishment, as the idle may think, but a noble calling. It strengthens the body, sharpens the mind, and fortifies the will. A man who cultivates the habit of work shields himself from the chaos that comes from idleness, for idleness breeds anxiety, despair, and weakness. The disciplined worker does not chase shortcuts or easy gains. He knows that satisfaction arises from effort. Sweat becomes the price of freedom. Labor, when performed with integrity, elevates the soul. Epictetus reminded his students, "Never be ashamed of honest work." Through dedicated work, many problems vanish. Where others falter in laziness or wait for fortune, the diligent man builds his life with steady hands and a clear mind. Habit 5. Patience. Many men destroy themselves with haste. They demand instant results, immediate rewards, and rapid outcomes. But the world unfolds according to its own rhythm. Nature moves at its pace, yet everything reaches completion. Seneca observed, "Nothing comes into being all at once, even grapes or figs. If you say, 'I want the fig,' it will answer, 'Time is needed.'" Patience is the ability to accept life's pace without rebellion. A man without patience is like a traveler who abandons the path at the first obstacle, forever searching for another road. He never reaches his destination because he cannot endure the journey. Yet patience is not passivity. It is courage in quiet form. It is the strength to remain steadfast despite difficulty. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This truth transforms obstacles into teachers of virtue. Patience eradicates countless problems. Frustrations, failures, and disillusionments fade because the patient man does not give up, does not react with rashness, and does not let circumstances control his spirit. Habit 6. Courageous acceptance of hardships. No man can live a life without challenges. Fate acts as a blacksmith, striking the soul to temper it. A man who cannot meet hardships with courage will constantly complain and blame others. But one who faces adversity with fortitude attains inner greatness. Epictetus taught, "Do not wish for events to happen as you want. Wish for them to happen as they do, and you will find contentment." This does not mean loving hardship, but seeing it as a school of virtue. A man who practices courageous acceptance asks not, "Why me?" but "How can I respond with excellence?" Where others see misfortune, he sees opportunity to strengthen character. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." A problem becomes a tool for growth, not a cause for despair. Through this habit, many troubles fade, complaints vanish, despair loses its grip, and the man becomes like a rock against the waves, struck by challenges, yet unmoved. Habit 7. Constant self-improvement. Stoics reminded us that a human being is never complete. Life is a continuous journey of learning. Even the elder must remain a student of life. Seneca wrote, "While we live, we must learn to live." True growth comes not from grand achievements, but from small, persistent steps. Controlling the tongue today, mastering anger tomorrow, gaining wisdom the day after. Self-improvement does not require dramatic gestures. Like a river gradually shaping a stone, Daily effort refines character. Many problems vanish when a man dedicates himself to growth. He envies no one, for he is engaged in his own development. He fears no change, for he is prepared. He clings to nothing, for he continually evolves. Epictetus advised, "You are on a journey, so journey to the end. Do not be the one who starts and quits." Self-improvement is a way of life, and the man who practices it remains strong, adaptable, and alive in spirit. Habit 8. Mastery over anger. Nothing destroys a man faster than uncontrolled anger. A flash of rage consumes the mind, tarnishes honor, and destroys relationships. Seneca wrote, "No passion is more useless and more fierce than anger. A man who cannot control his anger becomes a slave to every insult, every slight, every provocation. He acts before he thinks and regrets later." So many problems, conflicts, and broken bonds arise solely because this flame is left untamed. The Stoic, however, views anger differently. He understands that true strength lies not in reaction, but in restraint. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." When a man makes control of anger a habit, countless troubles vanish. He cannot be provoked easily. He preserves friendships. His mind remains clear in difficult situations. Anger, when transformed into calm strength, becomes a tool rather than a weapon against himself. Habit 9. Justice. A man without justice is like a wolf, living only for his own gain. The virtuous man, however, recognizes that fairness is the foundation of society, of friendship, and of human dignity. Marcus Aurelius called justice the highest of virtues, for it integrates all the others. One cannot be wise without being fair, nor courageous without being truthful. Justice is practiced daily, in honesty, in respecting others' labor, in giving each their due. A man who cultivates this habit is shielded from many troubles. His conscience is clear, his word carries weight, and his life is stable, built on truth rather than deceit. Epictetus reminded us, "Do not seek that events happen as you wish, but always act justly, and you will be in harmony with nature." Nature itself is just. It rewards diligence and punishes laziness. It gives harvests to those who work and denies them to the idle. A just man becomes a pillar for others. People trust him, conflicts fade, and the weight of many problems is lifted from his life. Habit 10. Gratitude. Many men suffer not because they lack, but because they fail to appreciate what they already possess. They chase after endless desires, overlooking the simple gifts of life. From this ingratitude arise envy, discontent, and perpetual unrest. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." Gratitude fills the soul with quiet strength. A man who notices the dawn, the bread on his table, a kind glance from a friend, or the health of his loved ones is rich in spirit. Gratitude reduces anxiety. The grateful man does not complain about fate, does not envy others, and does not despair. Epictetus reminded, "Do not seek happiness in what you lack, but rejoice in what you have." This habit alone can dissolve the majority of problems. Envy, rage, despair, and greed all weaken before a grateful heart. Gratitude transforms perception, turning ordinary life into a steady source of contentment. Habit 11. Clarity of thought. The Stoics taught that reason is humanity's greatest gift. Yet many live as if asleep, driven by impulses, habits, and popular opinion. A wise man cultivates clarity of thought, seeing reality without distortion. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Strip away what is unnecessary. Ask yourself, what is this?" What is its nature? How long will it last? Clear thinking allows one to distinguish what is within our control from what is not. Clarity of thought prevents folly. Decisions are deliberate, not impulsive. Illusions are recognized and ignored. Energy is spent only where it matters. Epictetus wrote, "If you wish to be invincible, do not enter conflicts where the outcome is beyond your control." Clear reasoning acts like a calm sky. Clouds may appear, but the sun still shines. The man who cultivates clarity avoids traps of passion, remains steady amid chaos, and moves toward his purpose without distraction. Habit 12. Living in harmony with nature and reason. All the habits we have discussed, discipline, moderation, patience, justice, clarity of thought, converge in one overarching habit: living in accordance with nature and reason. This was the heart of Stoic philosophy. Epictetus taught, "To live according to nature is to live according to reason, for reason is part of nature." Nature operates with order and purpose. The sun rises and sets, rivers flow to the sea, seeds grow into trees. Humans, alone, can act against this order by following impulses rather than reason. A man who makes it a habit to live in harmony with nature embraces simplicity and order. He does not fight what is inevitable. He does not chase what is beyond his control. He does not seek artificial pleasures, but delights in life's natural gifts: nourishment, work, friendship, and truth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything that happens in accordance with nature is worthy of respect." Living in harmony with nature is not withdrawal from the world, but the right participation in it. It is seeing every person as a brother, every challenge as a lesson, and each day as an opportunity for virtue. When this habit becomes second nature, 90% of problems vanish. Envy, anger, fear, despair, and greed all lose their grip. The man who lives in harmony with reason and nature finds that difficulties no longer oppress him. They become part of the journey, opportunities for growth, and exercises in virtue. Conclusion. We have explored 12 habits: discipline, silence and thoughtful speech, moderation, dedication to work, patience, courageous acceptance of hardships, constant self-improvement, mastery over anger, justice, gratitude, clarity of thought, living in harmony with nature and reason. These are not random rules or quick tips. They are the foundation of inner freedom. Stoics taught that happiness is not found in external things, but in the state of the soul. A man who cultivates these habits becomes like a rock amidst waves. Winds may blow, seas may surge, yet he stands firm, radiant in dignity. Seneca wrote, "The truly great man is not the one praised by the crowd, but the one who is great in his own eyes." These habits forge that greatness, not in fame or wealth, but in the strength of spirit. By practicing these 12 habits, you will see that 90% of life's problems dissolve. The rest will no longer burden you because you will have learned to meet them with the wisdom, courage, and serenity of a Stoic.